and welcome to today's presentation on the Extrude feature. My name is Robert French and I'm an applications engineer with GoEngineer. Alright, the Extrude feature is probably the first feature we all learned, but a lot of people don't use every single option within the Extrude property manager in their everyday use of SOLIDWORKS. We're going to look through this property manager section by section, starting from the top with from. We have our directions 1 and 2, which can control draft as well. We have the thin feature section, the selected contour section, and the feature scope section. Now it's important to understand that not all of these options are going to show up every time in our property manager. A lot of them require some unique conditions with our sketches or part file in order to really see these sections pop up and actually be relevant to our current task. Let's jump into the software and analyze these one by one. Here in SOLIDWORKS, I have an existing part file, and I've got several sketches created already to kind of help us explore the Extrude feature. Let's look through them real quick. I have my normal kind of closed contour sketch. I have a sketch called Contour Select in which I have nested or overlapping contours. I have an open profile sketch where we see a non-closed contour, but rather an open profile, obviously. We have a direction angle sketch. This sketch is on a different plane than the rest of these guys, kind of going up into space. We have the feature scope sketch, which is a closed contour sketch that overlaps two of my existing kind of contours from other sketches. I also have a plane that I've created up here in space. All right, let's take a look at the extrude feature with my normal sketch first. Simple blind, right, extrusion going one direction. We're into the direction 1 box, going a blind depth. We obviously have several other end conditions in here, like up to vertex, taking us to a certain location. That applies for up to surface. We can also do an offset from those surfaces. Up to other solid bodies. Mid-plane is one I'm a huge fan of because it provides a lot of symmetry. I have an extrude depth of 0.68 inches. That is the height of my object here. I'm just evenly splitting half of that distance upward and half of that distance downward. Let's stick with blind, and let's explore this first box up here as well called the from. Right now I'm extruding from the same plane that the sketch is on. But I do have the option to choose other geometry to start this extrude from. You noticed earlier I created an additional plane. I can highlight that, and now my extrude begins from that plane, the same distance specified in my direction box. Let's go back to our sketch plane, explore draft real quickly. Draft adds a slight degree of taper to our part, inward or outward. We do have the option checkbox here in the property manager to reverse that draft angle. We can increase that angle as necessary. Let's turn off draft. In the direction 1 box, we also have some additional areas that people might not use too often. What does this selection box do? Well, this is actually a direction of our extrude. By default, extrudes are normal to the plane they come from. But if I use this angle line sketch that I specified earlier, you can see I can actually tilt or change the direction of my extrude. I'm still going up to the same height as specified here in this box. Let's checkmark that guy and leave it as is. All right, let's move on to the next sketch we have, the contour select. Let's extrude with that. Now you can already see when I extrude that sketch, I don't have a preview present. But over in my property manager, towards the bottom, I have the contour select now active. What contour select is trying to do is give you the option about what shape here am I trying to extrude exactly. SOLIDWORKS can't solve for that automatically due to the just complication of this sketch from a normal single closed contour sketch. If I hover over an entity, it'll grab the loop of those entities, seen here highlighted in orange, and if I click that entity, I've selected that entire loop and I'm extruding that shape. I'm going to deselect that now. And now we can look at what happens if I position my mouse within these different regions. Well, I can choose specifically those regions to extrude. So this is what contour select allows us to do. It allows us to nest several sketches within one common sketch rather than breaking them out into separate sketches. It allows a lot more information to be contained in one more area and add some kind of relative dimensions and relative relations between those different sketches. Choose the shapes you're interested in extruding. I'll choose those 3 and hit checkmark. Perfect. Moving on, we next have the open profile sketch. When we have an open profile and we choose to extrude, we are by force just thrust into the thin feature style command. Thin feature can be executed on a closed profile, but it is the only option for an open profile. Since we don't have a closed contour sketch, it doesn't have an area to extrude. And when we extrude, we're creating volume. We need a 2D area to extrude into the third dimension, creating a three-dimensional volume. Well, how do we take this open contour sketch and turn it into 2D geometry? If we look in the property manager, under thin feature, we have a direction box, one direction, mid-plane, or two direction. We have a reverse arrow for that. We also have this dimension box. What is this dimension box doing? It's adding thickness to our open profile sketch. Right now it's set at 0.1 inches. If I were to increase this to a 1/4 inch, say, we can see that additional thickness out here in our preview. The reverse direction arrow adds that thickness either inward or outward. We can choose to split that thickness mid-plane. In this case, it would be 1/8 of an inch inward and 1/8 of an inch outward. We also have the option at this point to autofill at the corners if we want to. People use this method of thin feature sometimes to create sheet metal parts because we can draw a simple single line sketch and create geometry from that rather than trying to draw the inner and outer radiuses of sheet metal. It can be kind of tricky to do that. We use autofill at corners. And at this time, let's also, jump into direction 2. It's not too much of a new concept. It's just the fact that we're usually only going one direction from our sketch plane, in this case, vertically upward. We can see the direction arrow going up that way has one cone at the end of it. Going the opposite way is another similar arrow, but with two cones at the end of it. That's obviously direction 2, and we can specify a different depth of extrude there. I can go a 1/4 inch that way, and 3/4 of an inch upward. Direction 2 also has its own draft command. All right, let's hit check mark. All right, one last concept to go over is feature scope. If we try to create a boss extrude with this guy, we now have the option for feature scope because we have more than one solid body. We have one or more solid bodies now. What feature scope does is chooses which bodies it wants to interact with. If we left all bodies on by default and the merge result checkbox on as well, we see what we normally expect out of a solid body. It merges with the other solid bodies it kind of collides with, it intersects with. If we jump back into this feature, we can leave merge result on, but let's go down to feature scope and choose which bodies we want to merge with. We can have auto select on, but let's turn it off and choose specifically this body. We only want our current extrude feature that we see the preview for to interact with this body. When I hit check mark, since that's the only body chosen in the feature scope, these two bodies combine to make one continuous solid. But our original solid body extruded with the line angle is left dissimilar. It's not a part of this feature scope, so it doesn't get merged with these other bodies. If I jump into that last body one more time, even if I turn on feature scope of all bodies, if I turn off merge result, this guy still behaves as its own unique solid body. That's it on the extrude feature. Hope you guys got something out of it. Thanks for watching.